I didn't want to talk about Notre Dame. They just extended Marcus Freeman. He's done an excellent job, proven to be a good coach for Notre Dame and kind of what Notre Dame's looking for. They host Indiana on Friday night. And I look at these games and there's different levels of significance to these playoffs. And it's not that every team doesn't want to win the national title or every team doesn't have a ton at stake. At some level, they all have the same thing at stake. But let's say Georgia doesn't win it all or loses in the when they host in the quarterfinals or whatever they play in the quarterfinals, which would be the Indiana Notre Dame. No one's going to say the Georgia program's fraudulent. No one's going to say Georgia's not any good or Kirby Smart can't coach or anything. It's just a loss, right? Notre Dame's got more to prove at a different level. They are 0-9, I have them, in major bowl games since winning the Cotton Bowl over Texas A&M in 1993. They're only 8-16 in any bowl game. But they've had some small, and they were in a Pinstripe Bowl once and things like that. Their record against top 10 teams under Brian Kelly and Marcus Freeman has not been great. They are known as a team that can be good, but not great. And here it's all set up for them to have what would perhaps be their biggest win since, I don't know, you tell me, Pat, Friday night at home playoff game against Indiana. And not only is there maybe an expectation that fair or not, based on laundry, whether they should win, but this is Indiana, in-state rival that they historically have been the vastly superior and celebrated football program. They're at home, all of that, and then they would go get a crack at Georgia, which is bringing in a backup, second-string quarterback likely, granted a good one. So how much is at stake narrative-wise, for lack of a better term, do we have here Friday, Pat?
Oh, I think a ton. Absolute ton. To me, it's one of those games. Notre Dame is not going to get enough credit if they win, but they're going to get buried if they lose because it's Indiana and people don't respect Indiana. They should. I mean, I think this is going to be a good competitive game. But if you're Notre Dame and you win that and then you get to Georgia, then I think the Georgia game, Dan, becomes the biggest game for Notre Dame since the BCS championship game against Alabama when they absolutely got freight trained and it was so boring that you went to write about A.J. McCarron's girlfriend.
They're still together, by the way.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
I identify those great love stories. Don't get me in on Travis Hunter and his girlfriend. I'm
not. But no, and I mean, Notre Dame's, I would say Notre Dame hasn't won a truly huge game since 1993 against Florida State when they were 1-2, and it was like on the cover of SI, and it was the biggest game in many years. So there's a lot riding here, I think, for Notre Dame in the playoff. Absolutely. There is still, Notre Dame has just done two things, I would say, in the Brian Kelly, Marcus Freeman era. They've showed they can still compete. They have not showed they can win the big ones. And so that's what they're trying to do. They have established themselves as a perennial top 10 program, but they haven't showed themselves to be a national championship caliber program. They haven't won one since 1988.
Yeah, let's go through these. Fiesta Bowl.
Joe, our resident Notre Dame fan, does not want to go through this.
Poor Joe.
Sorry.
2022 Fiesta Bowl. 2-point loss to Oklahoma State. 2021.
When they led, I think they led that one 28-0 or 28-7.
Did they really? Oh, wow.
Yes.
That was Freeman as interim coach.
That was Freeman as interim coach, and they came out on fire, and then reality came back.
Yep.
That was a good Oklahoma State team.
And then the year before, of course, was the semifinal loss to Alabama in the Rose Bowl, 31-14. That one was not close. They didn't lead that one, I don't think, at any point. And there's the Cotton Bowl semifinal, of course, 2018 playoff against Clemson, 30-3. Fiesta Bowl in the 2015 season. not close, 44-28 to Ohio State. And then, of course, the BCS National Championship game, a 28-point blowout to Alabama in 2013. And then we're back to Sugar Bowl against LSU. And that one, same thing, about 27-point blowout to LSU in the 2006 season Sugar Bowl. And then the year before that, Ohio State lost, 2-touchdown loss to Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl. It goes on and on. Oregon State, 2000 Fiesta Bowl, 41-9.
Trucked them. That was Bob Davie.
I mean, these are brutal. Yeah. And then, of course, the last couple up until the 1993, you got the 1995 and 1996 Orange and Fiesta Bowls, losses to Florida State and Colorado. One of them somewhat close. Florida State game 31-26, Colorado not very close. So not only are these losses, but yeah, many of these are blowout. More than half of these are 2-touchdown plus losses. So I don't know that this, like as Pat said, I don't know that this one can be considered in this group. I mean, it is a playoff game, but it's at home against Indiana. The real one certainly is going to be if they move on, and that Sugar Bowl against Georgia will be pressure packed. Can Notre Dame finally win one against a potentially backup quarterback?
This would ease it, though. This will be a great scene if they can defeat Indiana.
Yes.
And then you get that shot. At least there's something positive in a postseason. And it would mean a great deal. Marcus Freeman's got a different type of roster. I love the direction that they're going at, all of those things, but it is a statement game to say this is the new Notre Dame. This picked up, their portal's working right now. It's grabbed a defensive back out of Alabama, and this team has got a lot of high-end talent and athletes on it that you look and go, boy, this is impressive, but we got to see what they can do. And so to me, winning this game would ease some of the Georgia situation. But there is a bit where Georgia's a little rattled, and Georgia has not been, this is not the Georgia juggernaut maybe we're expecting. There is certainly a path here for Notre Dame to make quite a run. And don't think Notre Dame fans haven't noticed it, but baby steps there, Irish. Baby steps. This program, great pageantry, great campus, great stadium, great fight song, great helmets, all the stuff. Can they be great when it matters? And they haven't been in a long, long time.